You know, it's funny, when the first Creed movie was announced, I thought it was one of the worst decisions in Hollywood, but now this franchise is actually one of my favorite. But how did this threequel turn out? Let's talk about it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Creed 3 movie review. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like the video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. All right, guys, we're now here for Creed 3, and I was really excited about this film. I love both films, the first one and the second one. I have the first one right here on Blu-ray, and I also have the second. I'm always back and forth on which one I like more. It's a coin toss for me because I thought both of these films were great. But the first film was directed by Ryan Coogler, who of course did Black Panther, and the second film, Stephen Caple Jr. They both did a fantastic job. But this one right here, the threequel in this franchise, is being directed by Mr. Michael B. Jordan. Yes, Mr. Michael B. Jordan himself, who is also playing the titular character of this film. And guys, guess what? This is his directorial debut. If we just scroll down a little bit, you can see all of the lovely films that this man has been a part of. The last one was Black Panther Wakanda Forever, that came out in November of last year. But the man is fantastic. Just Mercy, Creed 2, I mean, we can just keep on going. But right here, director, Creed 3 is the first one there. And so I am really proud of this brother. I will say, when it was first announced that he was directing this film, I was like, oh man, those are large shoes to fill. I'm a bit nervous. I'm rooting for Michael B. Jordan. I am a big fan of this man. I think he's a stand-up guy, and I want him to win, especially with his directorial debut, and that's what brings us here now. But I was nervous at first, but when trailers started coming out, this film just looked better and better and better. And so I was going in like, yeah, man, I hope this thing is good. I hope it's one of the best of the year, because it was one of my most anticipated films of the year. And also going in, I was kind of bummed out that Sylvester Stallone, of course, who plays Rocky, that started it all decades ago, was not going to be a part of this film. That bummed me out, but I was just saying, okay, hey, we can still have a great film on our hands. Let's go have a good time. But before I get into all the nitty gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, let me tell you exactly what this film is all about. After dominating the boxing world, Adonis Creed, Michael B. Jordan, has been thriving in both his career and family life. When a childhood friend and former boxing prodigy, Damian Jonathan Majors, resurfaces after serving a long sentence in prison, he is eager to prove that he deserves his shot in the ring. The face-off between former friends is more than just a fight. To settle the score, Adonis must put his future on a line to battle Damian, a fighter who has nothing to lose. Dun, dun, dun. You can't run from your past. All right, so let me start out with the good. Now, with the Creed franchise, with the Rocky franchise, with all of it, you know that you're going to get boxing, and we did get that in this film. And of course, it was amazing. But what also impressed me was the life outside of the ring when it comes to Adonis and his wife Bianca, played by Tessa Thompson, and their daughter Amara, who is deaf. They fleshed that out a ton in this movie, and I really did like that family dynamic. I also love the representation in this film as well for the deaf population and American Sign Language. That was a large part of this film, and it was very heartfelt and did pull on all of those strings and made you feel all gushy on the inside in a good way. And I really did like that. I really did appreciate it. You don't only get to see Adonis fighting in the ring, but like I said, outside of the ring, and him struggling to be the best husband that he can be and father, and all the challenges that go into that. I love when we can see this black couple on screen loving each other, treating each other well, and also coming to a crossroad on not necessarily knowing what's the best way to go about a situation that their daughter is going through at school. I don't want to tell you exactly what's going on because I don't want to spoil it for you, but I saw both sides. I did. I agree with Adonis, and I also agree with Bianca. And I thought a nice common ground would have been if they met in the middle, and that was just kind of nice to see in the Creed film. Not just boxing, not just training and montages and a bunch of push-ups, and I love that, but seeing what goes on outside of the ring between the family, and that's just something that I'm not often seeing, and again, something that I really did appreciate in this film. And when it comes to the story, I absolutely loved it. It was a very slow burn, a very long build-up, and I like that too. I got to see exactly where Damien was coming from, the childhood friend that's coming to hunt Adonis from his past. I loved all of that. And they just didn't deliver all of that backstory to you at one time. It was revealed to you at the very beginning, but would just cut away and then slowly sprinkle itself throughout various points in the film as it progressed on. And I like that approach. It kept giving you something, but not spoiling it. Just keeping you on the edge of your seat, wanting a little bit more and more until it all comes together at the end. And I did love it. It was a very compelling story this movie had. And we also have to give credit to Miss Felicia Rashad. My goodness gracious, this woman is a legend, and I loved everything about her in this movie. At one point in time, she possibly had one of the best performances. The theater that I saw it in, I know I heard a few people crying and sniffling. Just the relationship that she had with her son Adonis and that whole backstory and how she had to forgive Apollo Creed for stepping out on her. You know, she was really broken and hurt by that, as anybody would, and that showed on screen, and she knocked it out of the park. I loved her performance in this. She really did pull on those heartstrings and may make you cry. Now, when it comes to the titular character, Creed, man, I'm loving Michael B. Jordan more and more. Not only does this guy do a great job in front of the camera as Adonis, but behind the camera in his directorial debut, he did a great job. And sir, Michael B. Jordan, if you're watching this, I just want to say, sir, you did a great job. You did an excellent job, and you really should be proud of yourself. I said at the very beginning of this video that there was large shoes to fill, and you did fill them for the most part, sir. And so I take my hat off to you. Good job, great job, excellent job, sir. I love his own style too. Each of these Creed movies, there was something distinct that made it stand out when it comes to the camera work. There was a lot of one shots in the first film, and also when fighters were about to approach the ring, it froze, and it was kind of like a little title card sequence as well. I thought part 2 killed it with all the montages. And what Michael B. Jordan did very well in this film with the camera work is he really slowed down when he was showing panning shots of the boxer coming up and focusing in on their waist and the name that is across their belt, and also exposing weak points, opening points, points on your opponent that has no defense and that you can exploit, but he did it in a slow-mo fashion, and I liked it. Kind of was an Ultra Instinct vibe off DB Super, if you know what I'm talking about. At least that's what I thought. I liked it. He said that this film was inspired by a lot of anime. And when I heard that in the interviews, it sounded great. If I did not see that interview and I saw this film, would I be able to make the connection? To be honest with you, possibly not. But since I did hear him say that before I saw this film, there was a shot or two where I was like, oh, okay. That's what he was talking about when he was saying that Goku and Frieza punched each other in the stomach. It was great. I did enjoy it. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan, great job, sir, in your directorial debut. But now you know we have to talk about this rising star. He is all over the place in Hollywood. Last year, he was in Devotion. This year, recently, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Quantumania as Kang the Conqueror, and now he is Adonis Creed opponent in Creed 3 as Damien, and he did a fantastic job in this film too. I almost lost my breath there because I really did feel sorry for Damien in this film. I was rooting for him in a way. He was very broken and hurt, and I can understand everywhere he's coming from. I mean, I sided with him. I understand why he is angry. I understand, why he has beef with Adonis. It is valid. It is legitimate. He was a worthy opponent. Kind of going into this, I was thinking, okay, he's going to be coming across like Clubber Lang in Rocky 3. But that's not the case, and so I don't want to ruin your expectations there. But he did a great job in this. I loved his attitude. I mean, I loved his patience as well. There was so much that he wanted to say and get off of his chest, and he was holding back as long as he could because this man did dang near 2 decades in prison. But I just understand exactly where this man is coming from, and I felt all of his anger and frustration. The sound design and the sound effects was great. I love all the hewing and hawing and breathing in and out, slipping punches, all the footsteps in the ring, and the soundtrack, the score, all that good stuff was super duper fire. I liked all that. And I didn't even put this in my notes, but I want to give this actor some credit as well. He has been in the game and acting for so long, doing all types of stuff for the longest. And I just sometimes don't feel like he is getting the credit that he deserves. But he was one of the trainers in this film by the name of Duke, goes by the name of Wood Harris. This man right here is a phenomenal actor. He had a more prominent role in this film and it stood out. I've always enjoyed him in the Creed films, but he did a great job in this too. And I just wanted to give this man some credit. And so credit where credit is due, Mr. Wood Harris. He did a fantastic job as well. But now, guys, that is going to conclude everything that I did like about this film. Now let me transition to some things that really didn't work for me. The first thing in this film that was noticeable, that did stand out, was there was a huge missed opportunity to have Rocky in this film, Sylvester Stallone. Like, real big missed opportunity. He was missed in this film tremendously. There was a number of points in the beginning, in the middle, and especially at the end where I was like, wow, this would be the perfect opportunity for Rocky just to pop up and help Adonis in training, help him with his mentorship, and give him advice, to be a listening ear, a shoulder to cry on, all of that. I was thinking that this film still could have worked best without him in the film, but no. Rocky needed to be in this film. It would have made it that much better. I mean, I did enjoy the film a ton, but his presence was surely missed. The next thing about this film that really didn't work for me is this film should have been a little longer. It came in at 1 hour and 56 minutes, but they should have left it in the oven just a little bit more. Everything was great. I was smiling ear to ear with the story and the build up for the first 2 acts. But when we finally get to the 3rd act and we get the announcement that Adonis is going to be fighting Damien, that Michael B. Jordan is going to be fighting Jonathan Majors, I felt that that entire sequence was just a bit rushed, and I wanted them to stretch it out just a little bit more. I wanted to see Jonathan Majors monologuing a lot more about his anger and frustration and everything that he had to go through in prison when it came to training. I've been training every day, counting the days until I can get out of prison and get my shot at the world title. I was bleeding and sweating and da-da-da-da, and you stole it from me because it da-da-da-da-da. And that was just another missed opportunity for me. And also, the last thing is the climax of the film just did not reach the same heights as the first and second film. One thing about these Rocky and Creed movies is they have some of the best montages in Hollywood, in my opinion. Maybe you don't feel that way, but I do. And I've seen a lot of movies, but I haven't seen them all. But those montages will get you hyped. That will get you going. I mean, you're watching it in the movie theater and you're so pumped that you're going to get out of your seat and start doing push-ups in the aisle. I just did not feel that same energy for this sequel, Creed 3. That is unfortunate. I am not saying that it was bad. It just wasn't as good. It didn't pop as much. There was just no point in this film where we got the character Adonis, Creed, with that giant lion roar, just like, ah! We just didn't get that in this film. And we got that especially in Creed 2, during the training sequence and in the final fight. And the final fight in this film was great. And the final training sequence was great too. But it just didn't pop like the first 2 films, and it was a bit lacking. I still enjoyed this film though. I will say, out of all of the Creed films, I enjoyed them all, but this one is the weakest. But that, again, that does not mean that it's bad. There was not a number of sequences in this film to where I did not like it or it rubbed me the wrong way. The only thing I didn't like about this movie is what they left out of it. If they would have included some of those things that I just talked about in this film, I would have liked it much better. But still, Michael B. Jordan did a great job. I still think this film is excellent. I still think it's amazing, and I think everybody should go see it. I'll go ahead and give my rating for this at the very end, but for now, guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, helping me reach my next milestone of 50,000 subscribers. If you do subscribe, you're going to get movie reviews, interviews, spoiler movie reviews, series reviews, a weekly movie news roundup show, trailer reactions, a bunch of other cool stuff like that. But guys, if I had to rate Creed 3 out of a 1 out of 10, I was going to give it an 8, but I'm going to bump it up to an 8.5. Again, I think I gave the first 2 like a 9 or a 9.5. And again, the only thing I didn't like about it, it was nothing. Everything on screen was great. It was just that what was left out would have enhanced the film, that much better. There was also something I can say about Jonathan Majors' character, but it's such a small nitpick. It's pointless. But yes, guys, an 8.5 out of 10. Yes, an 8.5 out of 10. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.